Okay. Uh, okay, so I'm going to share my screen now so we can begin. Um, okay, because we've spent so much time trying to reach out, so I'll begin now. We know that today's session is majorly addressing financial stress, and there is no age group for financial stress actually. There is no particular age that financial stress affects. It affects everyone, and it is best that we come to realize it early on time, so we are able to tackle it and enter into prosperity as the need be. Yes, I'm just waiting for my screen to begin to share. Document is still loading. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so while we're waiting for it to load, I'll just start up the session from my phone. I wanted to share the screen, but it looks like it's kind of delaying. I don't know why it's delaying on on my laptop. So, but we'll begin at this moment. Lord, we begin in your name. We declare that you're Lord over today's meeting, and then everything we learn empowers the listeners, those right now on the call, and those who are going to listen to this on our various platforms. We open our minds to what you want to help us know and continue to empower us to. Sorry, that was the network glitch. Okay, so breaking free from financial stress. And what is the goal of this session? The session, we want to explore practical strategies to overcoming financial stress, build wealth, and achieve mental wellness. Because it has been reported that financial issues actually hold a lot of stress on a lot of young people in Nigeria. Um, 18 and 20. Okay, okay. Youth between 18 and 35 actually go through a lot of stress, a lot of financial stress. It might not look like maybe most of us are a part of that percentage because some of our parents are there to help us. We found our journey on time. We found our on time, so we know how to make the wealth. We know how to either build wealth or manage what we currently have on ground. So, but yet these things are affecting a lot of young people today. There is a lot of financial pressure, there is career pressure. You want to pick what you love, but at the same time, you're beginning to think, of what is best, or what will give you the gain, the quick gain. But yet, our speak for today, our topic for today is trying to help us see that there's a need for us to work on stress that comes from thinking about finances, thinking about money, right? Thinking about money. Please give me a few minutes. I think, yes, my screen is now. This is it. Share. Okay. 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 Like I said, breaking free from financial stress. And then this session is actually going to be addressed stress that we experience in our finances without knowing and why they're existing. Moving on to the next slide, we have the session's objective. Like I said, from the session today, we are going to be equipped with actionable tips to take control of our finances and live a more fulfilling life. You don't necessarily have to have millions before you can live a fulfilling life, before you can be happy, before you can have a balanced life, right? And first, let's even begin with what is money. What is money to you? I wish we had so many people on the call. I would have loved to hear different people's mindset on what money is. So, Adela, if you don't mind telling us or answering this question, what is money to you? What is money to you? This question actually talks about your relationship with money, how you perceive money, or what money is to you. Is it a means to an end? Is it an end to a means? Is it, yeah? So, what is money to you?
I would say money is just an instrument that you use to actually get what it is that you want. I think a lot of people often say, "Oh, what they want is money. What to make them happy is money." But in reality, it is what money can give you. Because if money can't give you anything, then it is worthless. Money in itself does not have worth. It is just what it provides you with that has worth.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's so profound. Yes. So from the screen you can see that there are different reasons, there are different feel that people have about money. So some people it could be how to become the happiest person in the world. Money is what makes them happy. Some people, money is what gives them access into places, into platforms. For some people, money makes them to be able to sponsor their dreams, right? And that's why we say money is freedom to them, right? So some people is it's freedom to some human beings, some people our age, to some families, to some generations, like generations of first, second, third, fourth generations of a particular family. You find out that they tend to see money as a pathway to freedom, and then some see it as a security. Nobody will be able to do them anyhow. Nobody will be able to mess up with them. They can live in the kind of house they want to live in. So it is a way of gaining security. And for some people, it's a way of being happy. And that's why you find that some persons, when small money enters into their hand, they'll be like, well, just chop it, Jare, it's your life, and do everything you need to do. And then some other persons, funny enough, money is stress to them. They feel like they cannot even sleep in peace because they feel like, oh, when I make this money, when I make this money, or when I have this money, it means that I may begin to attract thieves and the like. So it becomes stress to them. And then we are going to look at these things, how it affects why many of us don't even pursue money, or we don't amass so much, even when we are surrounded with money. When I mean money, the resources that can bring what money is. So why are we looking at what money is to you? Why are we asking this question? Is because our relationship with money is often shaped by our upbringing and experiences. Nobody, you did not just wake up, you did not just grow up on your own, or or you were born that same day you had that mindset about money. You were trained into seeing money for what it is. You're trained into seeing money for, oh, money could be a means of freedom, get my dream job, travel to my dream places, achieve my dream certificate and degrees. And then for some people it's just, oh, I'll be able to live in Banana Island and then my life is safe, or I'll be able to travel to the Bahamas. I can travel to European countries, and I would have from all the Nigerian issues, like I'll be secured, you understand. And then some people is, oh, I'm just going to live life that scene. I'll just have time to just be on my own, to be on myself. So that's happiness to them. And then some people, like I said again, it's a thing of stress. Like money is just stress. So they don't see the reason why they want to be wealthy. They don't see the reason. It's not because they don't want it, but deep down, and these things are affecting how they approach opportunities, how they even perceive rich people. You see them, they'll be like, this one is even have peace in his life with the way he is. Yeah, and then we do not understand that these things begin to create blueprints for why we make money or why we want to make money. If your reason for wanting to make money is to gain freedom, there's a way, there's a perspective, there's a positioning, there is a posture that you're going to take in that situation where, or because of how you perceive money is to you. So now, talking about money mindset, I made mention of the fact that from one generation to the other, you find people having various types of mindsets concerning money. And then now we need to look at this. How did your parents and grandparents deal with wealth and money? This is a question that it's a practical session, but I'm going to give us that time to just think while the slide is on. How did your parents, can you still remember, or can you articulate what your parents and grandparents deal with wealth? Like, how did they deal with it? Well, when there was a breakthrough, a financial breakthrough in your home, can you remember any period where there was a financial breakthrough, and how was that money utilized? Was it, oh, we need to buy a new house, we need to buy a new car, we need to it's time to actually send Adiola to this particular training school to go and learn a skill, or it's time for her to do something? Like, what was the posture when money came into your family, like when it came to your, in the hands of your parents, in so-called surplus, right? So what was that consciousness? I know of some people that in their home, once money comes in, the first thing is everybody, oh yeah, let's go out and go and eat something, and they eat, and then before they now start thinking, how much is left, what can we now do? And there are some other persons that I know that when money comes in, the first thing that comes to their mind is, okay, let's take out 30% let's take out 30% for this, let's take out 20% for this, then we can enjoy the remaining 10%. And then let's say, okay, maybe 40% goes into so and so. You get, so they sit down and they think about it, and then you realize that at some point, for every financial breakthrough that comes into their family, they tend to take like 5 to 10% for the orphanages or giving, and then the rest they strategize. But some people in their families don't even think that way. When money comes, they don't want to even know if the money is a repeated money. Maybe it's money that will be coming recurring, like monthly or weekly. They just know that, oh, the money is available, let's get it sorted. Before you know what is, money is all gone. Now, another thing we need to ask again is, what mindset and behavior have you inherited from them? Now, we know that, yes, this is what we grew up seeing. These are the things that you grew up seeing, which is, I wish we can make this more practical, but because of time. So now most people have seen this, but now you realize that this same mindset and behaviors are beginning to affect you. You're beginning to live that same way. Money comes in, thinking of the next thing to buy, or money comes in, you're thinking of, oh, how much have I really saved? Do I have any savings? Okay, let me just, some people don't even have savings as a result of this particular money. Because of, I really would have loved to take this, but we're going to take another session some more time to dig into each of these subtopics and bullet points that I hear, because I see the need for to begin to understand how money works. You know, people will tell you that money is a spirit. Yes, money is a spirit, but beyond being a spirit, it can be controlled by the person that has handled that money. But not many persons understand, and they feel like there's one spiritual something, or there's one for that they are becoming mindset, or they lose money easily. They're investing into different things and they're losing the money. Some of them are not losing money, but they are not saving. Some of them are saving, but at the same time, when something comes up, they just blow the money. So different reasons, different things, different experiences. And then the next one is recognize the patterns and beliefs that may be holding you back. Have you recognized them? Now, take for example, let me give this example of somebody. Take for example a family where maybe the dad used to work in a bank and maybe was like the manager. And you know, in those kind of moments, I had an elderly person who was sharing how he used to be in their family, that moments like this, like during this kind of seasons, Christmas period, they used to have a lot of gifts. They used to have a lot of gifts. People come with gifts to them. People are giving them a lot of prizes and the likes, and then they are enjoying massive wealth, like gifts, hampers, and many things like that. So at some point, after some time, I don't know what happened, but she said her dad lost the job and they could not keep up with that particular kind of life. They had to change her school. Excuse me, they had to change her sibling school. Even for a whole time, she couldn't go to school. Why? I'm sure that she made mention of something, that the only thing that her dad had that they could really bank on, it was the fact that the house they lived in, that was the only thing he bought, but he had no investment. He's working in the bank where he had no investment. He was just believing that the money will always be there, and those things affected them. They moved from Corona school, Corona back there in the island, and then they couldn't go to school for one year, term. the second time, and before you know, they had to move down to the mainland. And from the mainland, they had to just she and her sister had to start going to people's house to stay, just to go to school, so that the people can sponsor their schooling. And that's how life changed for her. Life changed for her until now. She has still not recovered. But yet the question is, what did she learn from such? Like, what did she learn from such a journey? Like, what was the pattern she realized that, okay, if daddy didn't have a saving, how come mommy was not there to have a saving? And okay, even if mommy had a saving, why was it not enough to keep up that life? So now money will not always be in the same volume all the time. So how do we make sure that we are doing well with our funds? How do we make sure that we are doing well with our funds? Now, this is a scripture that I had to draw out from the Bible because it was necessary, and it was going to help us with what I want to discuss on patterns and how you can break from those patterns. Now, many of us also want to think about, okay, now living patterns alone. How do I now work on it on myself? How do I make sure that I'm not repeating the mistakes of my parents, or I'm not just taking for granted the things that my parents must have been through, or what they are currently in financially? How can I be better than them? Not because I want to be competitive, but because I know that as the world is changing, prices of things are also changing. So if I want to keep up with the beautiful life that I envisage, without thinking I need to loot, or I need to marry a rich man, or I need to do rituals, or whatever it is, those sudden kind of money, or money that you just bumped into, like maybe as a result of marrying from a wealthy home, maybe as a result of a jackpot, those things are not really, you cannot be certain that they would happen. So what are the ways we need to do it? And then this is the scripture. Ecclesiastes 9 verse 11 says that the race is not for the swift, or the battle to the strong, nor does food come to the wise, or wealth to the brilliant, or favor to the learned, but time and chance happen to them all. Time and chance happen to them. That's where I'm bringing my stuff. You know, sometimes people believe that, oh, I've always been, like I made mention of the story of the manager at the bank. Yes, I'm a strong person right now. I have authority at my beck and call. I can call this person, I can do this, I have connections. Yes, this is sweet, right? This is sweet. And then we know that life is actually a race. Life is a race. So now, and then life is also a battle. And this battle doesn't mean that you have to kill somebody to actually rise, right? But it just means that things will continue to change. You have to keep up. You have to keep up with the trends. You have to keep up with, right? And then it says, nor does food come to the wise, or wealth to the brilliant. We used to think that brilliant people are the wealthiest people, but right now we realize that even those that graduate with the first class are even serving those that graduated with the third class. What's the difference? Yeah, so we'll talk about it right now. So the wise, okay, rather food come to the wise. So the fact that somebody is wise and intelligent doesn't mean that you find food on his table. I've seen a lot of people, I've heard a lot of people back then, and even recent time, where they will tell you that I was very smart in school, I have this, I have that. I've seen very wealthy, very smart children, and their parents are very smart. They tell you their stories about when they back then in secondary school, the university, and how they did this, how they did that, how they did this, and how they, and then at the same time you see them like, why is your dad still wretched? This much intelligence that he has, why is he still wretched? Why is he not really keeping up on the ladder of success and everything? So this is why I'm bringing this part to us, that but time and chance happen to them all. What is this time and chance actually? What is time and chance? What is time and chance here? The time and chance is not luck, it's luck. Time, chance is more like when it meets your preparation. That's what chance means. Like you will give chance for something. And what time means is the fact that there was a time for you to prepare, but there was chance that came about, and then so the time season where you're preparing for a particular opportunity to meet you, and the chance here is that opportunity comes, and both of them, when the both of them merge, they happen. When they happen, that's when you find favor, that's when you find health, that's when you find food, right? So when doing the right consistently at a particular given time, then at this moment now, things that that are going to make you to become high valuable, like of value, and then people will be willing to pay you for that value. People will be willing to pay you for that value you're offering, right? So now, looking at what we have on the screen right now, we have success is not just about hard work, but also about timing and circumstance. Success is not just about hard work. Please, can you help us unmute? Who joined? Please help us unmute. Mute yourself, please. Yeah, Victor, thank you. Yes. Okay, so like I said success is not just about hard work, but also about timing and circumstance. And I made mention of the fact that timing and circumstance has to do with the season, the period of when you were preparing yourself for being valuable. Maybe learning a skill, learning under somebody older than you, taking mentorship, volunteering for a particular role, taking an online course, um, making yourself visible online, depending on what you think, the value you want to create in your own sphere, in your world. Doing all of these practices, owning your skills, sharpening your skills, all of those times. And then the circumstance. What is the circumstance? Take, for example, now, the government now says, okay, I want to sponsor um, students from ages 17 to 35 who actually have skills in writing, who have skills in arts, who have skills in works of art. You are sure that you would register, yes or no? You'll be willing to register because you know that you stand a higher chance to also win, even though there might be other people applying for that particular thing. You know that you stand a chance. Why? Time so far, your investment in giving yourself that level of time, that level of mastery, that time of trying to build mastery in that area gives you that confidence that definitely this circumstance that is right in my face, the government having to say register for this particular thing, makes you have that confidence that definitely you are going to win, you're going to get that opportunity. Yeah, so the second is focus on being prepared and seizing opportunities. It's still repeating on the first, what I talked about, that success actually is not just about hard work. There's hard work in success, but beyond the success is about preparing for opportunities before they even come, and so that you are able to sense them when they come. So that you're able to sense them when they come. One time I was telling somebody that when I get to school, these are some of the things I want to do in school, and I need to prepare myself for so and so and so around Unilag, because I know that Unilag has the number, right? And by the time I got into school, I realized that although it wasn't the money thing for me, that opportunity wasn't a money thingy, but it was an opportunity to actually scale my vision, right? Just like what we have right now, Mindafrik. So now it was an opportunity to scale the vision that I have in my head, that okay, if I'm able to do this, if I'm able to do this when I get into school, and because of the number that we have in the University of Lagos, I'll be able to leverage that number, leverage my skill, leverage my ability to convince and persuade people to do a particular thing, and then I'll be able to help them, right? So now when the circumstance came, I didn't have that opportunity. That's what I'm trying to say now. I did not have that opportunity for what I plan to do. I did not have that opportunity for what I plan to do. Why? Because I was looking out for the JUPEP students. And by the time I was resuming in 200 level, JUPEP students had been moved to, what's the name of this place? Idiaraba. So where we used to have JUPEP lectures was now empty. There were no JUPEP lessons anymore. Everybody was taking their classes at Idiaraba. So the opportunity that I was preparing for, all of those times I was preparing for it, and I wanted to seize the opportunity. By the time I got into Unilag, it was no longer there. Was it my fault? No. So that's why I said time and chance will happen to them. Chance here meaning that opportunity that comes, that announcement, okay, we need 10 people to be able to help with this particular thing. And because you have owned your skin in that area, you're able to volunteer, you're able to raise up your hand, you're able to fill that form, you're able to apply and say, okay, yes, I'm ready for this. Right? So focus on being prepared and seize opportunities. Another example that I want to give is the fact that, okay, I told somebody about something. I asked her, she was going to the University of Ibadan. So I asked her, I said, okay, so what's up, gift? You're going to school now. What skill do you have? She told me the skill that she had, and I like, okay, so what are you thinking of doing with it? I'm like, she wants to really focus on her academics. I'm like, but is there anybody to actually sponsor your upkeep in school? And she's like, no, not really. That there is nobody to actually sponsor her upkeep in school. And I, so what do you want to do to make money? Do you want to wait until 4 years before you begin to have money? Not just money for eating, for your bread, but money for even when you are in school and you're hearing, oh, there's an investment to buy land, and then maybe the land is just for 100,000 naira. 100,000 naira is a very small money. It's a very little money, that, but yet a lot of people don't even have it when an opportunity comes and says, pay this 100,000 naira and get this opportunity. Take for example, they want to give you a land in a big estate, and they say the person is selling on distress. It just needs a student, a young person. He wants to sow into that person's life, but the person has to show a commitment fee of 100,000 naira, and you begin to run up and down. Maybe at that moment your parents do not feel that, or let's even say, look at that girl, she doesn't have anybody that will give her that 100,000. But imagine if she had started in 100 level when she got the admission, and then she begins to say, okay, I think I can make air, I can make air, I love to wash clothes, and I think I can do this right there in school. And I'm like, we got talking on a clarity call. I told her some things to do. First year, I told her, okay, calm down. You might not do anything on your first year. Get your CGPA correctly. Get your CGPA on the right standing. Then by the time you're entering 200 level, you're vacating for 200 level and resuming for 200 level, you'll have strategized and worked with her in that sense. By the time she was graduated this year, by the time she was graduating, she already had a land. She had bought a land. She had bought a land. She was making air for people in school, and some other things that we talked about, because I needed to continue to put that through. Okay, these are some of the things you can begin to do right now. These are things you can do. What are the opportunities? Are you in the school hostel? She said no. And I said, okay, so do you leave? What is more popular there? So we got on the clarity call, and then it wasn't just a one-off session. Got her talking about, okay, now this is what is happening right now. She's in 300 level, and some things she cannot do right now. And I said, okay, so what else can you do? So just to tell you that we have to go through that process of helping her see that she needs to begin to seize opportunities before they come, right? And right now she has a land to her name that her parents her parents are not aware. It's not because she doesn't want to make her parents aware. The fact is that she knows that if any challenge comes from the house, she can be forced to actually sell off that land and sort out, even though parents can actually, maybe if they didn't know the money was there, they'll find another route to get it, because one, nobody was really sponsoring her upkeep in school. She was taking care of her upkeep. So why would she now all of a sudden, all of the things she has been saving and keeping up, and she had an opportunity to buy a land, and now right now something comes up and then they're telling her to blow the money out, when it might even be something that the parents can get money for, the family members can get money for on something. So that's our own thoughts, that's her belief system, and I understand why. She already saw, like, remember I talked about the fact that look at your generational pattern, your family pattern as regards money. She knows that definitely when the parents here or family members here, we have this amount of money somewhere, you have this land, they will start thinking of one problem would just all of a sudden, and they'll be like, okay, Alpha Gifts, you have this money, let's get you doing something with this money. Okay, you need to sell this land, don't worry, and we'll have the money. And before you know, she will go back to that square one and then repeat the same pattern of poverty where she has found her parents. Or if I don't want to use the word poverty because it's a very, very strong word, moments of lacks, and she doesn't want to pass the same particular thing to her children. Before you know what is happening, she'll be thinking of marriage, she'll be thinking of sex, and she doesn't want to put all of the bills on her spouse. So yeah, so that is one part that is important for us to also look into when we are talking about preparing and seizing opportunities. Why? Because the race is not for the swift, it is not for the battle, is not for the strong, put coming to the wise or well to the brilliant or favor to the learned, but time and happen to them. And how can you seize time and chance? Look at an opportunities, begin to prepare yourself for that particular opportunity. I wish we had more time. I could have taken was a session and really like, okay, so what's the opportunity you're thinking right now? What are the things you can do? How do you think these opportunities can benefit your pockets? When I mean your pocket, I don't mean yes, you have the money right now, but benefit your pocket in 5 years, 3 years, 5 years time from now, and then you begin to walk in well. Yeah, so let's take a short break. We're just going to take a 2 minute break, stretch our ends. If you have questions, you can ask me in 2 minutes, or just signify that you have a question, and then we'll dive into your questions. But let's take 2 minutes break. Let me catch my breath, and then we'll continue by 7:13. Thank you. Also use the chat box. You can use our chat box to fix in your lessons, what you're learning from the class, what has inspired you right so far. You can put that in the chat. Let's make it active so I can know that we are learning something. I'm not just talking to myself. Put one lesson that you've learned so far from all that I have shared. For every person on the call, please put that on the chat. I'll read some of them once I see them. Yeah, so please put that, whatever you've learned right now from what I've said, put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you have a question, please put it there. If you need me to clarify something, maybe something that you need me to help you understand or help you see, you can let me know. So we'll start now. The break is over.
Sister Ruth, I think you're muted.
Wow, I'm so sorry. I didn't know I've been muted. Thank you. And nobody called me to read. Thank you so much. I've been talking for long and then I've been muted. I'm so sorry. So let's come back here again. What did you hear last? Victor is raising his
I
hands. You could have
haven't
spoken.
I haven't heard anything since I joined. I just saw that you're
Wow.
speaking, but I can't hear you.
Victor, you didn't tell me anything. Okay, so Victor, can you tell me where you stopped hearing me? Was it after the break? Tell me the last thing you heard me say. I'm so sorry. I didn't even know I was still muted.
Actually, it was after the break. I mean, after the break, that's when I could not hear again. I could not hear anything.
Oh, you did not call my attention to it. Oh my.
That
Oh
was why
my.
I
Okay, so
put a hand up then. So
I didn't see your hand because I'm actually showing my slides, so I won't be able to see your hands until you talk
oh,
or
okay,
you drop
okay.
a message. Yeah. So for next time, please. Thank you, Tosin. Yeah. So talking about generational cycle, I need to come back here because we need to end in another 10 minutes. So I don't want to take so much of your time. Again, we want to be realistic to time. If I'm not going to take your time, it's going to be 5 minutes extra, and that's going to be for finalizing and taking questions. Okay, yeah. So breaking generational cycle, like I talked about, you need to identify the limiting beliefs and behaviors that have been passed down to you. And how do you recognize these limiting beliefs? I made mention of the fact that a friend of mine, or let me say a younger person who I was talking to who gained admission, and I was asking her that, okay, so what's the family pattern? And she's like, no, she realized that in her family, when there is a little problem, they just pump money into that problem. They don't have the money, but they should just know that there's no money available. Problem will just arise, and then that money we use it to sort that. They won't even sit down and, okay, do we have a network? Do we have somebody, a connection that can help us with this particular thing without us solving money? And at the end of the day, funny enough, sometimes the money doesn't solve that issue because the money, that issue continues to need money into it. But sitting down and thinking that, okay, now this issue now, are we supposed to sort it out with money, or we're supposed to sort it out with this and this? So for her, and the reason why she had to start thinking a new mindset for money, for how she approaches finance, she had to look at it that, okay, if she begins to tell her family that, oh, I'm saving this, I'm making this investment, likes, when any problem comes, she'll be the first person they will come to. And before you know what is happening, sentiment, pity, and not wanting to be insulted, not wanting to be looked at as a bad person, will cause her to just say, oh, I'm not okay, I let go of this, I'll give her the money, we can trust God for another thing. And before you know, before you know, she's older, going into her 30s and entering into her 40s, and she realizes that she begins to enter into the same kind of financial behavior that she saw in her parents. So now I need you to also remember that you have the power to break free from negative patterns. And I made mention of the fact that you cannot break free on your own. You will need to find a mentorship. You need to find communities that speak on finance and money. You get books to read on finance and money for you to break free. Nobody can help you break free. Even prayer cannot help you. There's some help you. Prayer will help you find the right community to join. Prayer will help you find the right books, but prayer will not come there and just break you free from it. Knowledge is what will bring you out of every financial behavior that has been passed down to you that is limiting you, limiting beliefs, limiting behaviors that has affected your finance up to date. Okay, so let's move to my next slide because of time. Upskilling for financial freedom. You see that I still put my Ecclesiastes chapter 9 verse 11. Yes, it says, well, this race is also for this, and I've explained that at the beginning. Because of time, I will not go back to it, but I think it is self-explanatory. First, if you want to upskill for financial, I want you to know, let's give this disclaimer. The money will not come, money will come immediately. If you want to go and do rituals, the money will not come immediately. So first, you need to understand that you need to upskill. Right now, you started today, November 30th. It means that by November 30th, 2026, you can now begin to see. It might not even be until then. It might even be the next 3 months from now, the next 6 months from now, the next 8 months from now, the next 9 months from now, and the next 12 months from now. And you now begin to see those breakthroughs. You might not see them today. The fact that we see it today does not mean it will happen today. So now, one, how do you do that? Invest in yourself, develop valuable skills. There are a lot of skills right there out there. Find the one that fits your kind of person, your personality, that you know that naturally you incline towards. There are a lot of skills out there. Maybe the first thing you need to do is to search online. Okay, thank God for ChatGPT. It can actually help you do all of these things. Oh, I have this particular skill. I have this particular, I know that I'm good in this area. What skills can I actually begin to can I begin to think of I want to do that I demand? You can ask questions like that. You can ask questions like that from ChatGPT, right? Why do you need to do this? This is going to increase your earning potential and create new opportunities for you. When you begin to own those skills and go and learn those skills and begin to practice, take time, spend time daily, at least even if it's 1 hour daily to learn one particular skill and practicalize it. You might even do it for free for some people at a particular time, but in the long run, as you begin to build, you would now begin to say, okay, yes, I think it's time for me to be able to put price to this my skill. And you'll be shocked that even in 2 months, in 1 month, you might be so good that somebody is willing to pay you for that. But the money should not be the first thing in your mind. Just make sure that you're investing in yourself by developing skills that are important for now. I cannot imagine somebody going to learn how to do typewriting, how to use a typewriter. You're wasting your time right now, right? Because the time for that is gone. You need to know what you're supposed to be learning now. Oh, if you want to learn how to type fast right now on the system, that's fine. That's good. That's a good skill. Okay, maybe you know how to wash or you know how to clear things. How can you bring it? Because everything is entering even technology. So whatever you are even going to do, you need to look for a technological thing that you can do to own that your skill in that area. Oh, is it that you're not going to, if you're into crafts or arts, what can you do? You can decide to say, okay, every day per hour, I'm going to draw something. I'm going to cooperate with some tools, some technological tools to come up with something, and then when I get them, I'll exhibit them weekends on my status, on my WhatsApp status, and then I begin to do this regularly till somebody finds out that I can do this and they're willing to pay me. So there are different angles. Know your skill, own them, and get into tech. See how tech can enable you to bring those things alive and get you more visible. Now, another thing this will help you do is that it will help you to be a continuous learner, and then you'll be able to grow. You continue to see that you need to go, because by the time you keep asking questions, by the time you keep surrounding yourself with new skills, not many skills at the same time, one skill, but you're owning that skill, you're giving it attention, you're giving yourself time to build in that aspect. What happens is the fact that you do not just wait for salary, you do not just wait for money from the home, from the house, or anywhere the money is coming from. What happens is the fact that you're now able to add to your stream of income. You're not just earning from one place, you're now beginning to think of 2 streams of income, 3 streams of income, 4 streams of income, and the likes, right? So that's one of the ways. Yeah, so we have less than 4 minutes to go. Yes, cultivate a saving culture. This is very important. But first, I need to let you know that you need to pay yourself first. Even if you're earning 100,000 naira, or you're earning 50,000 naira, you're earning 30,000, or you're not even earning anything, pay yourself first. How do you pay yourself? Prioritize saving and investment. That's the way to pay yourself. Pay yourself. That one. Even if you don't do anything, tell yourself, okay, if I have 20K today in this month, I know that yes, so this 20K might not save me to eat or throughout the month, but what can I do? Oh, maybe this month, most of what I'm going to do is I'll drink Gary more. But I make sure that out of this 20K, I save 5,000 naira. There's a way that your mindset begins to work. Before you know, you begin to help yourself to see that this money is not enough, and then your mind begins to think of, oh, what other skill can I begin to learn? What other thing can I begin to do? What else can I begin to do so that I can make more money from other aspects of my life? So build an emergency fund and watch your wealth grow. Get emergency fund. Yes, that emergency fund, like I said, you can have 5,000 naira out of your 20,000. I'm just giving you 20,000 naira because it's quite small. Out of the 20,000 naira, you can say, okay, 2,000 naira every time. I'm going to have this as my emergency fund. Maybe on PalmPay, OPay, or any bank that is easy for you to get something for, right? That's going to be your emergency fund. And then you can, I remember back then in 2019, yeah, 2019, before the COVID, at that point in those seasons of my life, I felt like I had surplus in those seasons of my life. Then my dad was still alive. My mom was still doing well. So I knew that, okay, they take care of a few things. So any money that comes in, I was saving 70%. At that time, I think I was working and I was earning 40,000 naira. And I told myself I was going to be saving 70%. 70% of 40,000 naira, that was 28,000 naira. Right? I was saving 28,000 naira, and then I'll now use 5,000 naira and buy some things in the house. I've learned that. I've trained myself that way. I'll tell myself, okay, it's me that I'm going to buy the Gary in the house, and I'll buy oil just to give as a gift monthly to the house, right? And then the rest of the money is going to be for tea fare and any other thing that I want to do, offering my tithe, and everything will come out from that money. But I tend to save 70%. You'll be surprised. You'll be wondering, okay, only one. I realized the first time I wanted to publish my first book, that was in 2020, and then I went back to the bank, Sterling Bank, and I said, okay, I want to see because I didn't used to see my accounts notification. Like I don't get notification because that's what I told the bank. I don't want to see anything because I will not use ATM card for that account. When I went and the man told me how much I was having, I was like, really? Within this space of time, I had this amount, and that was what I used to pay for my book publishing. And even though the money for my book publishing was not enough, I collected from a friend, and I told her I was going to pay her instrumentally. I was going to pay her, she should give me 60K, and I was going to pay her 10,000 instrumentally for the next of the month. And I did that. Because she's my friend doesn't mean I will not pay her money. I did that and I paid her. And that culture helped me to see that anytime I do not have a particular amount of money, or my fund is not enough for the month, it means that I need to learn new skill. I need to begin to do something else to make money, do value, give somebody value for something. And that's when I ventured into home tutoring. So that year, 2019 to 2020 precisely, COVID, before the COVID started, I ventured into home tutoring. And before you know, the debt I was supposed to pay 6 months to my friend, I paid it in less than 3 months to her. 3 months, 4 months, let's just say 4 months, I was able to sort out that 60K, and I was free, and every money was coming to me, and I was saving them. So the same thing too, you don't look at any money and say, oh, this money is too small. It cannot be, it's not something I can save, right? It's not something that I can save. You can save as little as 1,000 naira. 1,000 naira every week, or even 1,000 naira every month is something. At least just build that culture. If that's where you're starting from, that okay, I don't really have any money, but what can you do? What can you do? I think if you have a question, what can you do? Maybe you want to ask me that question. What can you do right now with what you have that you can begin to like put yourself there, that in 1 month time, 2 months time, somebody will be able to patronize you. I want to patronize you this, and I'll pay you for this. So now, because of time, I'm going to take 5 minutes extra. Please give me that 5 minutes. We just have one more slide and we are done. So mastering your money. Now look at the rule. Different people have different rules. Yeah, I gave us the rule for try the 50-30-20 rule. The 50% for necessary expenses, 30% for discretionary spending, 20% for savings and investments. Then, like I said, looking at what I have here, adjust the percentage to fit your goals and priorities. Take for example, me that I'm a student, I know that I have to buy books, I have to buy materials, I have to print out assignments. There are some months that I know that, and then one of the things I've also learned how to do is when I get a big breakthrough or one miracle money, what I do is I buy all my stuffs. I buy all the stuffs I need in bulk. Take for example, I buy my soap in bulk. I'll buy my soap in bulk that I can use for like 4 months, 6 months, or almost half the year, that I will not worry about soap. Then I buy beverages. I know that this beverage is going to last me for a month or 2 months or 3 months. So for 1 month or 2 months, I'm not thinking about beverages. If it's rice, I rarely cook, so I don't really cook in school. So I buy my food out there because I know that I have a lot of things on my neck. So I cannot even sit down and say I want to begin to cook. And naturally, I don't think I'm really inclined to cooking. If I'm at home and I know that my mom is there and they're here, definitely. But on my part, every time counts. So I tend to know that, okay, now I know that I'll eat this number of times in a day. I cannot eat more than this number of times in a day if I know that I'm not going to get bankrupt. And by the time there's an opportunity in school, I need to pay for something, I'm not able to pay and I cannot call home. So I have to do that. And then there are months or days, seasons where I do 20% savings and 50% spending. Right, so necessary expenses are the things that come up. You want to do this. Discretionary spending are just all those ones that you want to do for outing. You want to take a course. These ones are by discretion. You just okay, this one, and then you can pay 40. The other time I used to tell somebody that I do 40, 20, 20. The 10 is already for good. So I do 40, 10, 20, 20, 20, 10 sometimes. So you just know what works for you. Put your money back. You tell yourself that 50% or 20% or 30% is going to go on savings, 20% on my food, 20% on giving, or 10% on giving. And there are days that sometimes you don't have to go and look for people to give. It might just somebody calls you, oh, hi Victor, hi Tosin, hi Adela, please can you help me with just 10K? And like, okay, at least I have 50K. Nobody has really called me to ask for money, so let me just give this one. Or in church, they say, oh, you have a budget, just give 5,000 out of it. Yeah, because you pay long ago in your giving account. Then your discretionary account, you already have a lot to say. Maybe the days in a month you did not do any discretionary spending and you are just there. You have your 30%. Let's say you now have like over 80 or 90,000 or 9 accounts. And if the accounts that you don't have any card for, then the necessary expenses, definitely you should have an ATM card for it. But when that necessary expenses, cut them into small breaks. Okay, maybe I'm this person or there's something my parents have told that I'm responsible for without knowing, but I always spend person something. Maybe you have added that person to your necessary expenses. Is a good one, but yet adjust this percentage to fit your goal per time and what is your priority at a given time. So now this will be the session. But before we round up, I need to see this. You might need to join the community just like ours. I know that I trust you will get your help because the growing community, yes, personal development and when we met must grow before we have the mind of create that safe community not only for mental health, like mental health, like but those things that can affect your mental health. What are the things that affect you on making decisions? We are ready to help you there. You can meet anybody, you can meet any of the admins, you can talk to me if you think you're more personal with me. We have a lot of people and are looking forward to getting more volunteers, more therapists, more people who are willing to volunteer with us to make this goal come as many adversaries. So as a part of that community and as we grow, you have access to lots of resources, lots of resources that yes, same time to we so schedule of hours um this is this is why it is removed. This is because I'm the only person who can take this amount from you. Every other person wants to get big money and they will not give you a brief. So that's it's a privilege if you can plug into it for 2 hours call. Say, okay, yes, so I've at the limited every for this 4 hours collective call and get your refundable, you can get your auto refunds if you are that what you get at the end of the session. If you really want to
Mr. Victor is still here. I'm not sure what happened. Okay.